Tired of your old kitchen or bathroom? Upgrade to the home of your dreams with Manny and Courtney from CMK Construction. CMK Construction is Tampa's award-winning kitchen and bath leader for over 20 years. Right now, save $3,000 on a new kitchen and $2,000 on a new bathroom. And take advantage of our no money down and no interest financing until 2026. Imagine, design, build.
Streaming from the Tampa Bay 28 Weather Center in Studio A. This is Dennis Phillips Live Plus. Brought to you by CMK Construction, crafting Tampa's most exquisite bathrooms and kitchens.
How you doing, everybody? It is a Wednesday night edition of Dennis Phillips Live Plus. Wednesdays, we often talk weather, but then it also gives us an opportunity if there's something going on, which there very much is. Tomorrow night, we will be live for the Bolts home opener and season opener, right? Season opener, Kyle?
That's right.
Yep, season opener. And we will be live at Thunder Alley. Kyle will be live at the bench. We're going to talk a lot of hockey coming up in the next segment or the following segment. But we do have a lot of weather to talk about. Now, I've had a question. I'm on Facebook right now, and I'm not seeing any comments coming in on Facebook. It's very odd. So I'm wondering, no, but you know what? They're here. So I'm having an issue with my Facebook page with the chat. However, on another source, I am seeing your stuff. So very odd. I don't know if you guys are seeing issues on Facebook. Ryan, how you doing? Steve, good to see you. Vivian, Largo's in the house with Gayla and Gordy. Nice to see you. Iowa. Irma in Iowa is here. Nice to see you. Newport Richie, Carrie. So Jules, good to see you. Parrish in the house with Lauren. Yeah, this is really weird. The comments are not showing up on my Facebook page for whatever reason. Let's see. Oh, boy, I'm already getting I'm seeing someone to ban right off the bat, but I can't figure out how to ban them. Oh, yeah, this is a YouTube comment. Oh, and I can block them on YouTube. Oh, that's pretty awesome. So I'm on never mind, but I'm on a page that lets me see all the YouTube comments and everything else. So it actually lets me put someone to a block list or block the user on YouTube. Oh, this is pretty awesome. I'm just going to block them left and right. 3 bans: YouTube, stream, and live stream. I should start looking at comments on this one. I've never noticed that before. Nokomis, how you doing, Thomas? Anyway, we got a lot to talk about, and as much fun as it is to ban people who are being obnoxious or spamming or whatever, I do have... Oh, wow, you're right. So people have told me you need an admin on YouTube because people have gotten out of hand. And I've never on YouTube, so I can't tell you. But this particular one lets me see YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. So this is pretty awesome. So I'm going to just start watching from here from now on. And it also, I don't know if it's going to let me ban from Facebook. Nevertheless, let's get into weather because we do have a lot to talk about, all right? So we're going to start with a general overview about what's happening with the tropics, okay? And that would be this yellow X, no worries, it's not going to bother anybody, all right? Jerry we'll talk about in a second. Now, the one thing that a lot of folks have been asking about is what's up with the potential nor'easter on the east coast of Florida moving up the eastern seaboard? So that is an interesting question, and one that I want to dive into a little bit. So when we're looking at this area here, east of Florida, okay, it is and it's the main reason we're getting cooler, drier air in our area as well, all right? But what's happening is as it develops and moves north, look, the way I look at it, whether it's a tropical system or not, if it's not a tropical system, there will be no yellow X, there will be no name, there will be no Karen, even if it becomes a tropical storm. But because it's cold core, and the Hurricane Center only issues advisories on hybrid systems or warm core tropical systems. If this is just a nor'easter, they won't issue advisories on it, but the impacts are still going to be coastal flooding. The impacts are still going to be strong winds. The impacts are still going to be beach erosion for the Carolinas and in through the Jersey Shore. So how you doing, Howard? Good to see you in Tampa. So, yeah, the chat is not working, Abby is saying. So it is a Facebook thing. All right, but I am getting these. So Facebook comments are not working, but I'm seeing them on my Restream page, and it also allows me to see YouTube comments. So I can have a field day with YouTube folks who've been rude for months, and I've just let them get away with it. Not today, folks. Not today. All right, anyway, let's get back to some of the model data, because what I want to show you, well, no, I take that back. First, let's look at Jerry. All right, we'll take this full. You don't need to see me. So let's go ahead and take Jerry here. And that would be Tuesday, Maggie, Tuesday. So some people are seeing comments and some aren't. Interesting. So definitely a Facebook thing going on, because I'm not seeing them, and other people are not as well, but some people are. Anyway, there's a look at Jerry. Now notice where that little tropical storm icon is. See how earlier there was no convection around it? It's kind of a naked swirl. Well, now you can see the convection is slowly being wrapped around it again. Okay, so here we go. I got what? Let me see someone. I have got another way to ban someone, but I just don't have time for bans today. So no way again, you're lucky. All right, you're gonna, nah, never mind. You're not gonna look at it. I'm gonna block them. All right, no way again, you are blocked. You are on a block list on Restream. You will be gone forever. Oh, I love this new feature. Love it. Okay, anyway, these are all YouTubers. So slowly, but or not so slowly, very rapidly, we're gonna be knocking these YouTubers right out of here who's been wreaking havoc, causing a commotion, causing some fuss. Anyway, there's a look at Jerry. Winds of 60 miles an hour. And you see how the swirl is now beginning to wrap around a little bit. Thank you, Ryan, for letting me know Facebook finally came on, but I'm keeping it right here because I get to see all this stuff because this is awesome. You're right, Tyler. It is hammer time. All right, anyway. So one thing, there's the updated track. It'll come out again at 11. Very close to the islands, right? The Leeward Islands, and also not to mention the Virgin Islands. But what I'm telling you is the tropical storm force winds are not going to extend that far out. So there may be some tropical storm force winds in those northern Leeward Islands and the Virgin Islands. I don't think they see it in Puerto Rico. I doubt they even see hurricane force winds in the Virgin Islands. I think it's going to be tropical storm. Hurricane force winds will be very, very tight around the middle of that center, but still close enough where there's going to be an impact in the Virgin Islands and the northern Leeward Islands. All right, so for cruisers, Debbie, you are correct. Cruisers is going to be kind of nasty. Yeah, I am from this day on, I am going to just be watching on Restream, another source, because it lets me see YouTube videos. And we're going to be clearing these people aren't going to know what hit them real quick. So real quick, speaking of which, let's look at some of the model data, because I do want to show you what's happening here. So here's a look at the Euro, okay? And we can look at the deterministic views because we're less than a week out. You got that hurricane out in the Pacific, right? But look at Thursday. There comes our front. See the front down here in Florida? There comes our front, guys. And then low pressure starts to develop Friday night. There it is. Now, with that being said, what's going to happen is that is going to move up the eastern seaboard. Now, if you remember yesterday, I was giddy because the Euro and the GFS were almost identical, to quote my cousin Vinny. And if you're watching on TV, so that has been a thing with our chat group for a long time. Whenever something's identical, if you watch my cousin Vinny, when the prosecutor goes identical when he's talking about the tire tracks. Well, in this case, we're talking about the GFS and the Euro because they are identical. And in doing so, I would expect, now there's your GFS. I'm sorry, there's your Euro. Let's look at the GFS and see if it is showing a similar situation. Here's the GFS. Sure is. Saturday morning, Saturday evening, Sunday morning, Sunday evening. Those are tropical storm winds along the mid-Atlantic. There may not be a tropical storm, but there are tropical storm winds on that. All right, here's somebody else who's getting banned. I don't know what this is, but Lady Butterfly, you're gone. All right, Lady Butterfly, you are gone on both. Man, you're right. I needed to do some weeding out. There's some rude people out there, and they are gone now. Anyway, there's a look at Sunday and Monday, and then it starts to go out to sea. But there will be tropical storm conditions along the coast if the GFS verifies. That is next Wednesday. Euro, again, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. Monday morning, that is a 996 millibar low off the Delmarva. That will bring tropical storm conditions and beach erosion to the mid-Atlantic, and then it retrogrades, starts to go back down south. So the Euro and the GFS do differ pretty dramatically, but up until then, we have tropical storm conditions, eastern Carolinas. Cruise Mike is going to get some of that, as well as the mid-Atlantic, all right? So we definitely are going to have, now, but as I said, the NHC might not issue anything on this because if it is just a nor'easter, yes, tropical storm force winds, yes, beach erosion, yes, heavy surf, but if it is not a tropical system, you will not have a tropical storm. You'll get impacts like a nor'easter, all right? So back in 90 seconds, we're going to talk more a little bit about the weather, and Kyle's going to come in and talk about a podcast that our sports guys start tonight, right? Tonight at 10 o'clock, right here on the spot, right? No answer on that one. We'll be back in 90, and we'll let you know. Yeah, this is pretty awesome. So guys, I'm able to watch, I've always watched on Facebook. So let me refresh and see if comments are back on Facebook. So on my Facebook page, still no comments. But when I go on Restream, they're all there, as are the YouTube ones. Diane, I don't know why they're nasty on YouTube, but they won't be anymore because they are gone. All right, how much time we got left? We got 58 seconds left on our spot. So, no, we do not have our new computer yet, Michael.
Mic check.
So, Kyle's doing a mic check. How's your fantasy team doing? How's your fantasy football team doing?
I am 3-2 in both my leagues, so I'm doing pretty good. I had Tyreek Hill in both leagues. That hurts.
Yeah.
And Jamar Chase.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, now you got Joe Flacco throwing to him. So, and Joe Flacco does like to throw. So,
he's just a little bit more accurate than Jake Browning was.
Yes. Okay, so we're in our last 30 seconds here. I am going to give a little more weather, just a little more weather, because we actually really do have some weather, and then we're going to jump right in to what's going on here. Yes, and the Bahamas are still going to be bumpy. Every time I see you, I want to call you Kyle Kraska, because our original sports guy, his name was Kyle Kraska.
Krasko?
Mm-hmm. Kraska.
Krasko.
He actually went to L.A. and was a hard copy anchor.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. We are back in 2, 1. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Dennis Phillips Live Plus. We are here with Kyle Berger. Kyle, our sports guru. We had Kyle here, about a month ago with fantasy football stuff?
Football draft, yeah.
And so we're going to still talk about weather, but briefly tell folks why you are here tonight. You got a big debut in a couple hours, right?
We have a podcast talking all things Tampa Bay Lightning. Of course, Lightning start the season. Puck drops tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. You mentioned already, we'll be live all day, pregame, post-game. We have a podcast called The Thunder Zone. Kevin Lewis and I are hosting this thing, and yeah, we have all kinds of guests from Media Day. We interviewed a bunch of the players. I have a one-on-one with Pat Maroon. So throughout the season, every Wednesday night at 10 o'clock on the spot, the same station you'll watch your Lightning games from 10 to 10:30. The Thunder Zone debuts tonight.
And just so you know, the same station they're watching right now on DPL Plus. All over the place, including DirecTV Stream now. That just got added a couple of days ago. It isn't just DirecTV, it's DirecTV Stream. Lots of cable, 17 on Spectrum, 23 on Frontier. So if you're watching DPL on the computer, we always tell you it's best to watch on TV and follow on the computer. But if you aren't, if you're just watching on the computer, that podcast starts tonight at 10 o'clock. And we actually have a little preview that we're going to show you in the next segment. Okay. But I do want to quickly go a little bit more weather because, again, we are going to have some pretty significant. So Shelley's asking, what time do I think the Nor'easter will depart Reagan National Airport on Monday? Well, let's go ahead and look at it here. I just pulled another Peter Brady. My voice cracked yet again. So here's a look at Friday. I want you to watch this because there are going to be tropical storm force winds on the east coast of the U.S., even if it is not a tropical storm. I kind of explained that. We have a cold core nor'easter system, so it will not be truly tropical. It's possible the Hurricane Center could make it a hybrid and give it a name. Kristen says Kyle is my favorite sports guy. So there you go, Kristen.
No one said that.
Yes, look at Kristen right there. Kyle is my favorite sports guy. So here, let's go ahead and watch it on TV. So thank you very much, Stan. Appreciate it. So there's Friday, okay? Friday evening. Now watch the map. We're looking down here, okay? Saturday morning, 8 a.m. That would be tropical. That is a depression, equivalent to a depression. It will not be a depression, probably. And then there's 2 p.m., and then it starts to get its act together down to 1,001 millibars. That's equivalent to a minimal tropical storm. There's 8 o'clock. We're at 998 millibars, and this thing starts to ramp up. 995 millibars. That is a solid tropical storm on Sunday morning. But again, it will probably not get a name. Might, but probably won't. And we'll just have to watch that closely. Its name would be Karen. Anyway, there's Sunday at 2 o'clock, Sunday at 8 o'clock. 992, that is equivalent to a strong tropical storm, and you could maybe even sometimes see a minimal hurricane. So off the Delmarva, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, you are going to be seeing some pretty rough weather. This is Monday morning, 2 a.m., so Sunday night, Monday morning. So you're asking about Reagan on Monday morning at 8 a.m., there it is. So there is still going to be some wind and some weather out of there. You do not name nor'easters. Now, the Weather Channel does. OMG, it's Wix is here. How you doing, OMG, it's Wix? Congratulations on all your success and all your comedy shows that I see you got going. That is awesome. So there's a look at 2 p.m. on Monday. Again, so you see the Euro keeping things in the mid-Atlantic through Monday evening, and then it retrogrades. In other words, it does a reverse and starts going back down the coast, right? But the GFS doesn't. The GFS takes it, there's Sunday morning. No, wait a minute, that's the following week. I was gonna say, where'd it go? There's Sunday evening, there's Monday morning, Monday evening, it takes it out to sea. So the GFS brings it out to sea, the Euro retrogrades it. But the bottom line, both are in very strong agreement that on Sunday night and Monday morning, there will be tropical storm conditions, even if it isn't a tropical storm, strong tropical storm conditions for the Delmarva, Ocean City, Fenwick, Rehoboth, through the Jersey Shore on Sunday. So we're going to be talking a lot about this the next couple of days because that is some pretty nasty weather going into that area. But for us, a lot of nothing. Here is a look at the long range. You've got Jerry staying east of the islands. You've got your development. Look in the Caribbean. You don't really see anything. That's next Thursday, next Friday, next weekend. And then very slowly it does try to develop something in the Caribbean around the 22nd or 23rd, but that's 2 weeks out, so it's really kind of meaningless. All right? So there you have it. That in a nutshell is kind of what we're looking at for our area. That same system, it's going to swing some drier, cooler air. You're going to wake up to mid to upper 60s on Saturday morning. You're going to wake up to low to mid 60s, northern counties, Sunday and Monday morning, and again, afternoon highs in the mid 80s. So some beautifully refreshing weather coming in on Sunday, on Monday with low humidity. When did the Bucks play?
Sunday, 4:25.
Oh, so it's an afternoon game.
And finally, yeah, it got switched up because 2 4-1 teams. It was a 1 o'clock start. Last week they changed the time because it's the only 4-1 game.
Who are they playing?
San Francisco.
Oh, playing the Niners.
Who's
Okay,
just as
hurt.
injured or
Oh,
maybe
my
more
heavens.
injured than the Bucks.
Yeah, I heard Purdy might even go on the IR. There's a chance.
And Pearsall's ruled out already, or not ruled out. He's not going to play.
So that's it. Well, that's football, and we'll be talking that, but we're talking Lightning. So let's have one more break. We'll be back to talk all about opening night, puck drop tomorrow at the calling it the bench.
Or the mark, the bench, or the mark. We got to pick one, right?
Has anybody made a decision yet on that?
I don't think we've officially called it. I guess we can claim it. Whatever we decide, we are the official broadcast partners.
Wow. Well, that sounds like something.
Let's get a poll. The bench or the mark?
Yeah. What do you guys
or
like?
The Ice Palace.
Yeah. Well, the what?
The Ice Palace.
I mean, I call it the Ice Palace. I still call it the Ice Palace. Back in 90 seconds. Okay, so we're in a break. And you know what's also awesome about this? I'm not limited in scrolling up the top like with Facebook. Here I can scroll all the way up and see any ridiculous comments and ban them. This is amazing. I'm like, it's Christmas morning for me. I'm scrolling, and look at that. All of a sudden, the YouTube bots and the YouTube people who are wreaking havoc are gone. They've disappeared. Well, I've banned a few of them. But they've crawled back into their little hole, their little cave that they live in their mom's basement. So I don't see them, so they're gone. All right, of course we don't have basements. So that's a good question. So where do those people who live in their mom's basement live when they're in Florida if they're at their mom's? They're not in their mom's basement because there's no basements in Florida. Inquiring minds want to know. So a lot of people are calling it the bench. Well, here, Daniel says the mark. Melissa says the bench.
Yeah.
So.
The bench it is. I've seen.
You think?
And no one's voted.
The garage.
The garage. Not
really sure. They live in the garage. That's another question. All right, we are back in 8 seconds. And I'm gonna play this sizzle reel, I think. All right, we are back in 2, 1. Welcome back. Inquiring minds want to know. So what we've been talking in the break is, do we call it the bench or do we call it the mark because it's benchmark, right?
Benchmark International, so nothing really international.
And for the TV folks who weren't able to hear this, see, if you're watching on TV, we appreciate you. We love watching on TV and streaming at the same time. But if you're watching on TV, you missed all this high-end banter, which we have. One of which was, we're getting rid of the trolls on YouTube rapidly tonight. And I said, these are the guys who live in their mom's basement. And then I thought to myself, well, we don't have basements in Florida. So where do these people live if it's not in their mom's basement? And the overwhelming response is in the garage or in the attic, and possibly a shed. But dating back to what we were saying here, it looks like more people are saying I don't know, it's more people are saying the garage than anything else. But the mark, the bench, I don't know. What do you prefer?
The bench, I think, because you think bench warmers. It's more sports-ish, because I mean that's not good that you're a bench warmer, but still, the bench.
Yeah.
The bench, the mark.
I kind of like the bench. Seems more sporty.
Yeah.
To me.
Coming off the bench.
Yeah, but then again, like you said, if you're coming off the bench, then that means, are you a scrub?
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, anyway, so they got this great, cool new podcast that's debuting in 2 hours and 9 minutes right here on the spot. And here is what you get to expect.
And welcome back to the Thunder Zone. I'm Kyle Berger. That's Kevin Lewis.
A weekly Tampa Bay Lightning podcast. Let me see if I can get it all. We have previews. We'll have recaps. We'll have interviews with players. We'll have feature stories.
At times, he is the best goalie on the planet.
That's what they're going to have to do if they want to have more postseason success. And
they could score the goals, but when the games were close, it seems like they couldn't really get over that hump.
Both guys are swinging, but one team is getting financially penalized and getting guys suspended. But where does this rivalry, do you think, kind of rank?
Hockey, it's right now, it has to be, I would think, number one, because his game's built on speed.
Right.
And when you have ice, that might get a little slushy.
Not old, but they're not getting older. They're getting better. They're getting a little more vintage. And I think that the sense of urgency is there. I just think all the pieces coming together and staying healthy, I think, is, like you said, is the big key there.
So that's kind of cool. So by the way, how long is it? Is it an hour, half hour?
Half hour.
Half hour show?
Yeah.
And it's just you guys just kind of
just talking wherever this story takes us to.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I feel like a guest on like a late night talk show. Oh, we have a clip. Let's roll a clip. I didn't know you had a clip.
And it worked. Yeah. And, well, so and like we were saying, so now it's going to be called
Thunder Zone. So yeah, basically this first episode is a season preview. So we had a bunch of opportunities to talk to players leading up to the season opener at a media day. So we talked to Kucherov, Vasilevsky, Gensel. We talked to all of them, Braden Point, Hagel. I mean, and just to kind of get their feel of this opening season. Pat Maroon also came with me in the studio. We did a one-on-one with him because Pat Maroon, a lightning great, 2-time Stanley Cup champion. Talked to him all things about the team because he's now a team ambassador. So he's going to be out in the community, teaching kids hockey, just trying to grow in the game in the Tampa Bay area. So we'll kind of talk about his new role with the team as well.
Awesome. All right, we have one more break. We'll be back with one last check of weather. I'm going to give you guys a quick update, and then we're going to continue past TV time to talk a little bit more about the podcast and about the Lightning home opener. That's back in 90 seconds. Okay. All right. We are in our last break. Where were my break comments? Usually I usually get my dentist. It's time for a break. These people are great for that because otherwise see, look at that. No comments on my chat. For whatever reason, Facebook is.
I'm on your page now and I see comments.
And you're getting comments, but look at me.
There's like 500 comments right now.
I got none. So for whatever.
Maybe you've been banned.
I mean, I think it's clearly a Facebook thing because the Facebook comments are showing up here on my restream. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, Cassie. Wait a minute. No, hold on. The very nice person told me to load the station app. Please message me directly on Facebook because the messages still aren't working when you look at them. Okay, that's okay. I thought that was a spammer, but it's not. Oh, now finally, Todd, break. Yeah, I needed a break. I needed one. Bozo Bob's in the house. How you doing, Bozo Bob? Toronto, the Blue Jays are up 1-0, Anna Maria says. Oh, Anna Maria's not happy about that. She is a Yankee fanatic. But boy, how about that last night's game? They came back out of nowhere.
That Aaron Judge home run, like that was so clutch.
That was as close as you can get.
Down 6-3 in the fourth, and he hits a 3-run bomb to tie it off the foul pole.
Yeah, he did. All right, we are back in what?
8,
hold on.
7, 6.
Yeah, let's take this graphic. All right, everybody, welcome back to Dennis Phillips Live. Again, we're going to continue on social media as Kyle's going to talk a little bit more about the upcoming Bolts season and anything y'all want to. But I do want to give one more quick update on the weather because this is one of the days where we actually have quite a bit of weather to talk about. So this is a look at Jerry. Most of the spaghetti models, maybe hit refresh. Yep, same ones. There are a few toward Puerto Rico, but the overwhelming majority curve it north and east with maybe tropical storm force winds for the Virgin Islands. Here is a look at the the GFS ensembles rather. The GFS ensembles, let's go back and call this back up. 12Z, Atlantic, and Cyclones. All right. So what it shows is zoop, everything curving away, no problems there. But you've got the low pressure that's developing this way, right? That's the low that's going to develop on Sunday and move right up the eastern seaboard. I'm telling you, if you live anywhere from the Outer Banks of the Carolinas to the Jersey Shore, there's a very good chance you're going to have tropical storm force winds starting on Sunday night, Monday into Tuesday. So if you have travel plans to the Mid-Atlantic or in the New York area into early next week, that's something that needs to be watched. It's not set in stone. The storm doesn't even exist yet. But it is certainly a possibility. Here's a look at the Euro AI. Shows nothing. It does show the same thing in the Mid-Atlantic, but look at the Gulf and the Caribbean. Bupkis, nothing, which if we make it through this season without a hurricane in the Caribbean, I will be befuddled because I'll be honest, I just can't imagine that happens. But so far, it is. Yankees just tied it up according to Jules, 1-1, bottom 3. All right, so again, here is a look at the Euro. Big development out here, right there off the Mid-Atlantic, the Delmarva. And the Euro does have a few developing systems that do try to go into the Gulf over the next 15 days. So it is a possibility. But overall, the impacts on the Bay Area, the only impacts for us, believe it or not, will be positive. We're going to get cooler air, drier air wrapped around that low, and morning lows in the 60s Sunday and Monday. Afternoon highs in the middle 80s, some really, really beautiful weather. Tomorrow night, I am attempting to go live for DPL from Thunder Alley. We hope it'll work. We won't be on the spot. The Bolts game will be, but we'll be back here on DPL. You guys have a great night. Okay, so we are done with TV and streaming, and now we are just here for y'all. For
Just us.
Just us. So McMahon hit a 357-foot right field dinger. Who is McMahon?
He
Must be a Yankee.
He used to play for the Rockies, and they acquired him at the deadline. Third baseman, Ryan McMahon.
Okay, I was going to say I'm kind of a baseball guy, but I'll be honest, I have not followed that closely. How about the Tigers? Tigers were down 3-0 to the Mariners. They couldn't even get a hit, and all of a sudden they just opened up a can of whoop, you know what, on 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. I mean, they started scoring runs. So it's going to go Game 5, which they got their stud going on Game 5. Skubel's going to pitch.
Okay.
So that's going to be good. All right, let's see. We got any questions here? People talking about. You're very welcome, Tanner. Appreciate it. You're very welcome, Barbara. I'm with you. So how about Massachusetts with that big development? Don's going to ask. You know what? All right, let's check it. Let's check it out for you. So probably not. Well, I think Mass is okay, be honest, because the Euro, the GFS takes it out to sea. I mean, I take that back. I mean, if it goes like that, if that's a 991 millibar tropical storm-ish storm, then yeah, Mass could get 40, 50 mile an hour winds out of this. And that's next Monday night, by the way. Now that's the GFS. But I'm telling you, the Delmarva, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, Delmarva, from Norfolk up to Ocean City, through Fenwick, up to Rehoboth, right up to the Jersey Shore. If this verifies, it's going to be nasty. I'm telling you, it is going to be nasty. So thank you, Jane. I appreciate it. I think if this develops, and it looks like it will, there's going to be some pretty filthy weather in the mid-Atlantic through early next week. All right, what else? How you doing, Terry from Brooksville? Good to see you. Williamsburg, Virginia. What are you going to get? Let's see. Williamsburg will probably be on the west side, so they'll get breezy weather, maybe 25 to 30. As long as it stays offshore, Williamsburg's going to probably be okay. But anyway, it's pretty impressive stuff. So that's kind of what it is. We'll have a better idea tomorrow. Now, Shay is going to be running the board for me while I'm live tomorrow on Thunder Alley. I have no idea if it's going to be a train wreck. Could be because I'm going to be out there and I'm not going to really have the ability to see what's working here. But at the same time, I want to be able to talk about what's happening because there's going to be some stuff. So let's talk a little bit more about the Lightning. So Jonathan's saying, I really think the NHC will label it a PTC. Okay, so here's what Jonathan's saying. And you might be right. I said it a couple days ago. I would not be surprised if we get a little yellow X out there. It's an interesting setup because if it's a nor'easter, technically the NHC would not issue advisories on it. But if they're going to get 50, 60, 70 mile an hour winds, they could maybe call it a hybrid, a subtropical system. And if it's subtropical, they'll still name it. So yeah, it absolutely could, Jonathan. I don't disagree with you at all. But at this point, it is still nowhere near Sandy. Nowhere near Sandy, Robin. Not even in the same conversation. So nothing to worry about there. But so Anna Maria wants to know, Kyle, will GMS host any postseason watch parties?
I do not think so. Are you talking about for the Yankees?
I don't even know what GMS is. What's GMS?
George M. Steinbrenner.
Oh, okay.
Across the street, yeah.
Okay, got it. All right.
I don't think so. I think Tampa tries to be a Rays town. I don't know. I mean, there might be a newer bar somewhere in Tampa Bay that has a bunch of Yankees fans.
I don't know. Nor am I interested because it's Yankees. So Anthony says, what time are you going to be at Thunder Alley? We will be there tomorrow. You're going to be there all day, right?
Yeah, I'll be there at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. We got morning skate, talk to the players afterwards in the locker room, get our content together, then we'll start being live at 4, 5, 6. Then we got the post-game show. Post-game on the news, not a post-game show. But
okay. And Lauren and Paul will be broadcasting there. I'm not going to be doing weather. I'm just going to be there out in the crowd messing around. So my first hit is at 4:45. I'm on through 6:30, and then I'm doing DPL. Anna Maria says Bronx cheer for Dennis. Hey, should I ban? No. First of all, you guys may not know this. Anna Maria sent this ban button. This was her idea. So there'll always be props to Anna Maria for that because more people actually really prefer the ban button than anything else. Okay, just joined you. What is the storm and how many days? So it would be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'll show you one more time. And here is the GFS. Look at the system developing off the southeast coast. Saturday morning, Saturday night. Sunday morning, Sunday night. Right there, Sunday night, that is a tropical storm. Even though it may not be a tropical storm by definition, there will be winds of 50 to 65 miles an hour off the coast if that 991 millibar storm is off the mid-Atlantic and the Delmarva on Sunday night. That's Sunday morning, by the way. Sunday night, Monday morning, right there. So the mid-Atlantic, if this verified, and by the way, so there's the GFS. Let's look at the Euro. Here's the Euro. Saturday night, Sunday night, same, identical. It is identical. It is, except it retrogrades back south. So based on this, and this is 5 days out, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5 days out, I think it is very reasonable to start showing this deterministic view. And there will be some really nasty weather in the mid-Atlantic. Winds 50 to 65 miles an hour from Ocean City, to the Jersey Shore, I guess. I mean, it can be pretty bad. All right, somebody just said the 18Z came out. Ryan, I think, did. Let's go ahead and look at the 18Z GFS because here it is. He said something was brewing in the Gulf that far out. Would not surprise me. We all know what the GFS does this far out down the road. Most of the time it's ludicrous and completely to be ridiculed and scoffed at. But let's see what 18Z shows. So there's a week out. And let's see, what's it show? That's a bunch of nothing. But yes, it does show the potential for development. So I don't disagree. But that's the GFS way down the road. Okay, will Tampa get any heavy rain from this, Leanne? It will not. Thank you, Debbie. So talk quickly about the Bolts. So how are they going to do this year?
I think they're going to have a really good year this year. Basically, the same core is back from last year, except they have more depth than they did a year ago. Oliver Bjorkstrand's going to be there for a full season. They got him at the trade deadline last year. Yanni Gourde will be here for a full season. And this team, they went 6-1 in the preseason. That's the best preseason record the Lightning have ever had. I know it's preseason, but it's better than losing games. So 6-1 in the preseason. And everyone saw their last preseason game against the Florida Panthers. And they had 322 penalty minutes, 16 injections, a bunch of fines, a bunch of suspensions. So the Lightning are trying to get more physical. So after all that happened, they went out and signed this kid who is 6'9" and 250 pounds from the Utah Mammoth. They cut him.
6'9", he's bigger than Hedman.
His name is Curtis Douglas. I think he's about to be everyone's favorite player because he is an enforcer.
He's an enforcer.
All he does is gets in fights. So there's a reason why they signed a 6'9", 250-pound guy.
Now, we talked about this on DPL last night, or maybe night before last. I'm with you. They were making. That was the Bolts right there against the Panthers a couple nights ago. They were making a statement. They're like, because they got manhandled in the playoffs. Right. They did. They got out physical. They could not handle the toughness of the Panthers, and they're like, all right, you know what? We'll show you. John Cooper, didn't he get a $100,000 fine?
Or was it $25,000? Got $100,000. He got a $25,000 fine. So in that last game, they didn't play their star players. They brought up 4 guys from their minor league team just to rough it up a little bit. And after that game, they sent him back down.
So that's kind of, that's what.
Premeditated?
Well, yes, but I was going to say that's not kind of circumstantial. Because why can't they say, hey, we wanted to let these guys come up and get a little taste?
Yeah, they got a taste.
They could have said that, but. Because normally, because you know as well as I do, when they have a post conference, and they'll talk about it, especially when it comes to officiating, a lot of times they won't say anything because they know they're going to get fined. So the fact that they blatantly fined the organization for this, I think everybody knows, but could you prove it?
But the Panthers are just as bad, and there's two teams that take. The Panthers had no fines, no players suspended. Every fine and suspension went towards the Lightning. When you could say like Carter Verhaeghe for the Panthers, it's like boarded. What was it? Gergen Zermingus, and he didn't get a fine. And Zergens is now out.
Yeah.
He's injured. So it's like they're protecting the Panthers, but they weren't protecting the Lightning. So when the NHL doesn't police the players, and the players will police themselves, and then these things happen.
They do. It's very true. By the way, Michelle, late to the game, but wants to know about the cold front. Again, cold front comes through Friday night. Very little rain with it. Low pressure develops east of Florida, moves up the eastern seaboard. That's why we get cooler, drier air. Highs mid-80s, low to mid-80s Saturday, mid to upper mid-80s Sunday and Monday. Morning lows in the 60s, mid-60s. It's going to be really, really nice. I'll say it again. I really think if that low verifies, you're going to be talking tropical storm force conditions on the East Coast from the Delmarva to the Jersey Shore early next week. That's if the low develops. It isn't there yet. But when you get the GFS and the Euro, both identical 5 days out, you got to at least be talking about it. And you're telling me that the people in the Mid-Atlantic aren't talking about it? That's shocking to me. Shocking, I say. All right, so one more thing. So talking about this guy, this 6'9" guy, whatever. I mean, do you think that they are trying to change their DNA of this team, or are they just making a statement to the Panthers saying, look, we're not going to be pushed around? Or do you think they're changing their philosophy on how they play?
I think they needed to do something after what we saw last year, how they were kind of pushed around a little bit by the Panthers. But not to say that the Lightning aren't tough guys. They are tough guys. You just need someone in there that's like a Pat Maroon, who we haven't had in a while since he left. Someone that's willing to stick your nose in and do some dirty work. And you don't want your really skilled players doing that, because you don't want them to be penalized off the ice. You don't want Kucherov starting fights. You don't want
Well, exactly. You don't want your stars starting fights.
You need someone that's big and is able to do that.
So what's his name again?
Curtis Douglas. Curtis Douglas.
And he came from Utah.
6'9". Yeah, he was with the Utah Mammoth. He got cut 2 days ago. He was being sent down to their AHL team in Tucson. So he was driving from Utah to Tucson. In the middle of his drive, he gets a call. He was stopping to get coffee. And say, oh, I'm being rerouted to Tampa. So it was like the best coffee stop of his life, probably.
That is awesome.
He's never played in the NHL, so this game will be his NHL debut.
Oh, you would think just from his size, he would have been used in some way, shape, or form. Because there's a lot of enforcers out there. I mean, the Caps have Tom Wilson. I mean, there's some guys out there who although Wilson's a skill player now too. But I mean, you got some guys. What's the guy? I can't remember. It was with Vegas, and he was a goon. But that's what he's known for, and he's good at it. And he's not with them anymore. Geez, who did he? I can't remember what his name is. But he had a brawl with Wilson one time and beat up Wilson pretty good. Anyway, I can't remember. But it's part of the game.
Yeah,
it's part of the game. And I think people who don't watch, it is an interesting philosophy. And I thought about this recently. So when they're on the rink, on the ice, they can go at it, and it's okay. But if they were outside the arena and doing that, they'd go to jail.
Yeah, if I did that at my job, if I didn't like what you just said, or I didn't like you, if I hit you, I'm probably fired,
right?
Probably, and go to jail.
It's funny, and not only is it allowed, it's encouraged.
Yes.
Now, that's a good question. Does the NHL encourage fighting?
I don't.
Or do they just tolerate it, accept it?
It brings eyeballs. People
love it. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, you see the crowd go crazy when
there's strategy. There's strategy in these fights
even
too.
the players after the fight, the players knock their sticks on the ice, in support of their guy. Do. It's an interesting discussion. I mean, I don't think there's very few people who don't like fighting in the game. And I guess it's one of those unwritten things that the NHL is not going to say. They're not going to come out and say, yes, we encourage it, or we discourage it. It's just part of what it is.
I think the Lightning Panthers fighting is to the next level, though. Like, these guys actually hate each other, the Lightning and the Panthers.
Oh, yeah.
Like, a lot of these fights you see, they just, fight to they energize the crowd, but there's actually hate here. You can just feel that these people do not like each other. And I think this is now becoming
Detest.
Detest.
By the way, Maya, it is Ryan Reeves. Thank you. I could not remember what his name was.
Yeah.
Ryan Reeves. No, I'm sorry.
He's really good friends with Pat Maroon, I believe.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah. But I think this has become the best rivalry, if not sports, in the NHL for sure. Lightning Panthers, just because the teams are so close to each other, and they're both really good at the same time, and they're constantly getting in these skirmishes.
Edie's saying it sells tickets. It does. I mean, people, they just love it. I mean, I don't know of anybody who doesn't.
And you see more fighting. If we had a minor league team here, you see more of that in minor league hockey.
Really?
They call it like beer league hockey. Yeah.
Like minor league for the NHL, or more
like SP, like independent leagues.
Okay, yeah. Like Slapshot.
Like Slapshot, yeah.
Which
Johnstown.
old school, but
because I worked in Birmingham before I came here. We had a team in the SPHL, the Southern Professional Hockey League, not affiliated with any NHL team. The Birmingham Bulls, the Huntsville Havoc. Now they would fight all the time just because it draws in people. Because you only get 3,000 people to a game, so you need to have reason to people to come.
By the way, Danielle, cruising the Bahamas 13th to the 17th, you should be fine. Because by then, that low will have already moved through. Now, the only way you might have a little issue is if the euro is right and it does retrograde back down. But I don't think it'll make it as far as the Bahamas. So you should be okay. Well, you got anything else? So again, let's just remind the folks what we're going to be talking about. So tonight, go ahead and tell folks if you're just tuning in.
Tonight, you see it on the screen. Wednesdays, 10 o'clock, we're having our debut of the Thunder Zone. Tampa Bay 28's Thunder Zone. It's going to be Kevin Lewis and I talking all things Lightning hockey and previewing the season opener tomorrow night, 7 o'clock.
Now, is there any social media interaction on that, or no?
Not yet.
Okay.
This is our very first episode, but I think later in the season, we're going to do this every week. So I think we'll have ways for viewers to submit questions. So we're working on that for sure.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you, Kyle, as always. Comes on DPL all the time, whether we're talking fantasy football or, Rays or Bucks. But speaking of Bucks, what's your take on the Bucks right now?
Oh my gosh, who doesn't like the Bucks right now? Like, they're the most entertaining team in NFL. Baker Mayfield, MVP candidate.
Well, yeah, someone just said that
right now. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, he's led 4 game-winning drives in the last minute, 10 touchdown passes, only 1 interception, and he's doing it with not his great players. No Bucky Irving, no Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin is still not himself yet.
By the way, Misty, thank you. The spot on Tableau is awesome. So Tableau is a thing that it's like a cable box for OTA. In other words, the antenna. So it's just a way to kind of use it as a DVR. So if you have Tableau, you can actually record DPL Plus, and watch it at a later time. But maybe more importantly, you can record the Lightning games, which we are the official broadcast home of the Tampa Bay Lightning. So, Kyle, thanks so much for stopping by. I'm going to go watch some baseball, have some dinner, and tomorrow night, tune in. We are not on TV. We are going to be right here. DPL is taking it on the road, and we're going to see just if it was going to work tomorrow night at 7:30 on Thunder Alley. Have a great night, and good luck tonight on the podcast.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night, guys. We'll see you.